Here we go. I'm going to introduce you. Hi, guys. My name is Amena K. Thornton, and you are listening to the One Up podcast with Amena K. You can watch these live videos as well by going to amena.media to go to the YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have you guys here today on this Message of Hope series. These stories are with real people around the world, and we talk to them to get their story from struggle to success. Today, we are actually recording, I think we're 38 today. I don't have my little counter because I'm not in studio. I'm actually recording this from the beach. So this will actually be my first location recording. So I always have to do a first day, right? So if there's any hiccups or anything, guys,
blame it on the beach.
Well, blame it on the beach. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm sending you good vibes from the beach wherever you're listening to. Thank you for subscribing, and I can't wait to share Dr. Ben Tehrani stories today. He's here already in studio. We've been chatting, and he's going to go over something that is quite different from what we've covered in the past. We usually cover a lot to do with mental health and physical health, but this is a little bit different. We're talking about, how do you say it again? Neuropathy. But it's the more medical side of the nerves, which I'm totally excited to learn more about, because I teach the more of the mindset, the ideology behind this area, and I love to learn about more of the science. So I'm totally excited that you're here. Thank you for coming, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
And would you like me to call you Dr. Tehrani or Benji?
No, Dr. Benji. How's that?
Dr. Benji. Okay. Sounds amazing. All right. We could do that.
All right. Great.
So where do you want to start? How'd you get into this line of work?
So I'm a podiatrist in Los Angeles, and in podiatry, we see a lot of patients with what's called neuropathy. And neuropathy just basically means an overall disease or damage to the nervous system. And it can come in many forms, but in the podiatry world, we see foot, ankle, and leg wounds, and we see a lot of patients who have diabetes. Okay. And what happens from, whether it's from metabolic disease, obesity, having chronic inflammatory problems like rheumatoid arthritis, obviously diabetes can cause this. But basically, elevated blood sugars for a long period of time slowly but surely causes damage to your nerves. And so what patients develop are numbness and tingling in their hands and in their feet. It could range anything from low back pain to burning sensations in their feet, to sharp stabbing sensations. And it really takes away from their activities of daily living. And my job, and it's always been a goal of mine ever since when I was a kid, was not only to be a doctor, but be able to send and help on a global, send help, but also help in person on a global scale. And I developed a vitamin that's designed for peripheral neuropathy. So people who have all the symptoms I mentioned, it's not a medication. It's 100% organic.
So it's more of a supplement.
It is. It's a supplement you take twice a day.
Yeah.
And it's not designed to get rid of, but it will help relieve the symptoms of neuropathy.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And I want to ask you also, I know when I had my first child, this was 15 years ago, I had suffered with a lot of nerve, pain and stuff, just because the weight that I was carrying. Do you see a lot of pregnant women that usually come in as well, just because the body changes, so much?
You do. Yeah, especially, it's funny, my sister's about to give birth in a few days, and she has bilateral heel pain. She's gone through episodes of it on and off, and especially when they're pregnant, you get what's called ligamentous laxity. So your feet, your hips, the pelvic region, sometimes in your shoulders, you start developing aches and pains. And that's completely normal. Well, it's not normal to have the pain, but for you to go through it, it's typically your body relaxing so you can be able to give birth. And usually it's 3 to 6 months after pregnancy that will go away.
Yeah, mine eventually did.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, thank God. So yeah, I remember even at times like sleeping, like my feet would get swollen, things that like, and it was mostly in the final trimester too. It did. I
Yeah,
didn't have nothing the first 2 trimesters. That the third one just put me through like
forget it.
hell. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like
You
it
can
was
also try the
everything.
massage machines, the little the ones like can't remember the names of them, but there's I mean I have a few of them in my office we use on patients, but they're just the ones that trigger that go back and forth
Yeah,
really
yeah.
fast. You can use that on the arms, on the back, on the legs. It's excellent for increasing circulation and to help get rid of the body's aches and pains. That really
Oh,
helps.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Do you see any athletes
I
usually that
do.
deal with
Yeah.
a lot of nerve damage and things?
Not
Okay.
a ton, but I had a United States Olympic triathlete, and
Oh, okay.
it's you would think just all the majority of the patients would be diabetic, but that's simply not the case. I mean, we
Yeah, I
had
wouldn't. Yeah,
I just
wouldn't
spoke to
think
a
so.
lady yesterday who had pins and needle sensation in her lower back, and it would spread down, it would go down from her butt to her hamstrings. And she has about 15% relief after 2 weeks of taking
Wow,
Nerve Assist. So she
wow.
actually stopped by at my office to pick a couple more bottles up. But it really, you have to be dedicated to taking it. It's not a medication. You don't take it just whenever you feel like it. You do have to be consistent with taking it every day. My mom's been on it for close to 18 years now.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow,
So
wow.
the
That's really good.
formula
Really good.
is, always bother my mom. I actually just saw her in my clinic. I would say like she was my guinea pig. I tried different formulations. I went
Oh
up and
yeah.
down, and
Well,
then
I'm a
finally,
total
yeah.
believer in supplements. I mean, literally, look, this is
Oh
supplements
yeah,
right
oh
here.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just made it before we came on.
That's right. What is
I've
that?
been, so this is exogenous ketones. I don't know if you have heard of those. So it basically gives
Amazing.
you more oxygen to your brain is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
Puts you into a state called ketosis, and it's chocolate flavor. And
Yeah.
I also have a vegan protein powder, which is basically a pea protein
I'm
as
huge
well. And
with
then
Dave
some,
Asprey and
some
Bulletproof and all
other
that.
things.
I'm a firm believer in ketosis and Bulletproof coffee and all that. It
Oh yeah,
works.
it does. Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
also I'm a provider of Prove It. I don't know
Oh
if you've
yeah.
ever heard
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard of
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So if it's something that you want to talk about later, we could definitely dig into that as
Sure.
well. But yeah, I've been with Prove It for a year, taking their product, and
Uh,
wow, like it
yeah.
works. And then you
I think
definitely know the difference between supplements.
that's what I was gonna say. You could
There's
tell the
some that's
difference.
like, I don't think it's just tastes like sugar or something,
Yeah.
and some, you are like, wait, I feel different. This is definitely working, and that's where I was with this, because I've had taken a lot more supplements over the last prior, like 3 years prior, because I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of physical fitness. I lost like 65 pounds, so I was taking a lot of supplements,
Wow.
doing
Good job.
mountain bike riding, cross country running, and just figuring out what works with my body.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of things don't work. So
Yeah.
it's just like they're like little gummies and stuff full of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sugar
Yeah.
and
Right.
all things you cannot pronounce. So yeah.
I think a big part of it, and just to kind of bring a central theme into this, is inflammation. And people who
Yeah.
have neuropathy or even aches and pains in their bodies, they have their inflammatory markers are elevated. And there's a urine study that we do that checks for bioinflammatory markers. And basically, if you're super stressed at work, you're in a stressful
That's what I was
marriage,
just getting ready
you
to ask
know,
you. This sounds just
it's
like anxiety. And that's what I tell people that that's why I originally started using Prove It and exogenous ketones, because I'm going through a divorce. It is a very
uh,
difficult divorce.
that's
And
it.
during that time, it was overwhelming, the stress levels, the anxiety, not knowing, what to
Yeah.
do next and go
Yeah.
where next. So yeah, and I was actually looking for this product, and that's why it was such a surprise
Wow.
when I found one that actually worked. Because I was at GNC looking for it, And I hate to down DNC, but I haven't found anything that really works for me at DNC. I go through
Yeah,
people like yourself and like, hey, you developed this amazing product, let me give
yeah,
it a try. And then it's usually people like you, the people that are dedicated to a mission, that develop a product for, their friends and family and or their patients, where they actually put the time and the research into it
yeah,
to actually make something that works, because it's
yeah.
usually for their friends and family they're developing it for.
Right.
The one of the founders that proved it was for his father that was suffering from
Wow.
Alzheimer's. And so it's usually people like that is dedicated to solving an issue for a loved one. And I
Well,
like to say also, Benjamin Franklin, he made a lot of amazing inventions, and some of them was for his family, and
did
that's
you
why he
know,
did it.
not to go off topic, but did you know
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin, his first business that was successful was a fire insurance business? Did you know
Oh,
that?
that's it. No, I didn't. I
I
mean, he
went
had
to
a lot
medical
of very
school. I
successful
went to medical
businesses.
school in Philadelphia at Temple, and
Yeah.
I can't remember
Oh.
who told me that, but basically, you pay, for example, 10 cents a month. They used to put this emblem on the front side of your house, and God forbid there was a fire, they would go with the horse and the carriage, and
Yeah.
they'd have the pump with the water. And if you had that emblem, they took care of you. If not,
Oh
I
no.
didn't know that. This is
I
before
didn't
he was
either.
famous.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. He's had a
but
lot of interesting things that he did. So yeah, definitely.
little side note,
Yeah. So
but yeah,
cool.
I'm my objective is to help people not only with diabetes, but my mom's diabetic and she struggled with it. And I know a lot of times, when you're going through pain and constant inflammation and your body aches and like this and that hurts, you feel dependent on others. You feel dependent on medications. You feel frustrated and tired all the time. And it bothered me to the point where I wanted to do something not only for my mom, but for people around the globe to understand, like, hey, this doesn't have to define you. Like, pain is something that's temporary. And I've learned through meditation and really focusing on getting good quality sleep and like making a deeper connection with yourself has been able to help me not only balance my stress in my life, but I actually feel a lot more energetic than before. And
Yeah.
so managing chronic inflammation is vital, I think, for really everyone.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
pretty
so that's what
much.
got you started. So you knew right away, like from the very beginning, that this is the area that you wanted to do. Like this is
I did because I'm passionate about it. I mean, I do. It's unfortunate, but I do probably 5 to 10 amputations a month
Oh
from people who
wow.
are diabetic
Wow.
that don't take
Take
care of
care of
themselves.
themselves.
Then if you have what's called neuropathy, eventually if it gets severe enough, you can't feel your feet, and then they end up stepping on a nail or getting like
Oh
a
wow.
sore, and it turns
I've
into
had heard
infection.
a neighbor of mine actually. He had to get some of his foot amputated.
It's really sad.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
It's really
definitely.
sad. So I'm
Yeah,
in the business of turning those frowns upside down. So
yeah. Before it gets to that point, right?
yeah, education is key.
Yeah.
One of the ingredients in here is called glutathione. It's basically
Right.
a really, really strong antioxidant, and it helps the body from going into this excess inflammatory state. And so, one of the reasons why I started taking it in March was because of COVID. So, COVID, whenever you develop that, those patients are getting intubated, it's actually a reaction from the body's immune system that says, hey, something's going on, I better attack it. And so you get this rush of inflammatory markers that essentially creates fluids in your lungs. And so glutathione has been shown to decrease that inflammation so these patients don't have those reactions when they start getting sick.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
So a little
Yeah.
side note on one of the
Yeah.
ingredients.
Yeah. So what is the? I guess what does the supplement actually do, other than reduce
Inflammation. Yeah,
inflammation? Yeah.
so it has B12, B12,
Yeah.
and another supplement called benfotiamine are B vitamins that help regenerate the health of the nerve cells. So they help support the nerve cell from turning over and repairing itself. And
Okay.
then there's another one called glutathione, which I talked about, and then collagen peptides. Collagen is big right now with like the youth and
Yeah.
beauty phase.
They
So
do.
collagen peptides have been shown to improve the nerve highway called axons. And so when your body has nerve disease or even having chronic inflammation, those highways will start developing roadblocks. And so the pain signal gets blocked and it doesn't get into your spinal cord to tell you, hey, something's wrong, you have pain. And that's what happens when people have advanced neuropathy. And so that helps the body repair those highways. So I always use analogies of like, construction workers working on the highway to open it up. So that's essentially what it does.
A little bit better. Interesting.
And then I added vitamin D as well because
vitamin D is a big one that seems it seems like nobody gets enough vitamin D.
Full disclosure, mine was low last year too.
Oh, really?
Because I'm indoors all day, and look at you, you're out on the beach. Like
now, I wasn't tan until just a couple, like the last week when I was here. So yeah, before, no.
So, low levels of vitamin D have been shown to cause precancerous cells. And so and there's plenty of literature and internal medicine magazines that talk about, and there's journal articles and science that backs it up. And so that was important to me because people who have either immune disease or chronic inflammatory disease, most of them are going to have some form of vitamin D deficiency. And so for me, I thought that was very important, and that's why I added it in there. So if you're not getting enough vitamin C, this will help with that as well.
Yeah, vitamin D, right? Vitamin
D, yeah.
So even people that may be drinking milk might not be able to get much. I like milk is, a tricky one. I don't drink milk, but people that do, you might not still be getting enough vitamin D in that because it's added. Yeah. It's added into it.
Right.
So whatever the levels of vitamin D they put into the milk is essentially what you're taking in.
Correct.
So definitely a supplement for that would definitely be handy for a lot of people. And plus exactly how much you're taking then too, because I don't think the milk actually has where it says this much vitamin D.
Vitamin D fortified. I don't think it does say that.
No.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
And it's whole milk that has the most. I believe it's whole milk that has the highest amount. But in general, I'm not a big advocate. I mean, I don't know what kind of milk you drink. I drink almond milk. I mean,
I do too. Almond milk. Yeah, that's what's in this, actually. Almond milk and ice, and then the protein and the ketones.
I mean, I find patients who have chronic inflammatory disease, whether it be in their gut or arthritic problems or low back issues, I actually tell them, try to avoid overprocessed foods because overprocessed foods can lead to vitamin B deficiency. And they also cause what's called free radicals to form. And free radicals, for example, if you eat like a Cheesecake Factory, you eat I
thought that place had cheesecake.
Hey man, it's like the last page.
I'm like, I looked at their menu because they had their menu posted outside, and I'm like, wait, it's like all regular food. They try to trick you.
Those types of foods. I mean, free. When you're eating overprocessed foods, those free radicals can actually cause inflammation and damage in the body, from everything from plaque formation in the arteries to if you're really not taking care of it, can cause obesity, cancer, heart disease. And so really eating organic whole foods is a great first start. And you'd be surprised how many of my patients that go on nervousness, I tell them, give me a list. The next time you come see me in 2 weeks, give me a list of all the food that you ate. Create a food diary for me.
Yeah,
even if you could do it for one full day.
Amazing.
I literally read it from top to bottom, and like 40% of it are overprocessed foods. Chips here, even like the they're like, well, it's fig, but they're eating like the fig snacks that are like terrible for you with like bread all around it. And one easy step that I've been telling them is obviously cut out the overprocessed foods and then limit your carbohydrates after your lunch. Really, carbohydrates turns into blood sugar. If your body's not utilizing it for energy, you created fat storage and excess blood sugar in your bloodstream while you're sleeping.
It's so hard to change a diet though. So hard. It's
really the mindset. It really is.
Yeah.
It took, I don't know how long it took it for you, but like, maybe
Yeah.
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I would say about the same. I was before they had those apps on phone where you could put in like what you ate. I had the food
MyFitnessPal.
diaries, the actual little mini ones that fit in your pocket, and I
Yeah.
carry it everywhere. I had one of those for 3 years. I wrote down
Wow.
everything,
Yeah.
and wow, what an education!
It's
Just knowing
key.
what's in it, like calories and protein, and just seeing like how I wasn't taking in enough protein. Like, and that's why I take supplements too, because I
Your
do,
protein shakes and all that?
yeah, I do a lot of protein shakes.
Yeah.
I do like a almost vegan diets, but I eat fish. So it's fish or it's vegan.
Pescatarian.
So
Nice.
yeah, I didn't
That's
do
important.
fish until, well, I did fish and then I took it out, and then I felt like I wasn't getting still enough like actual food. Like I wanted more like actual food, like real food. So I added it back in, and yeah, I've been fine. So yeah.
That's my biggest message to people. Not only is just, I could talk all day about the vitamin, but really paying attention to your diet and your lifestyle. Like trying to think of ways, literally write down ways that you can improve your body and your mind. Like there's an app in America at least, it's called Headspace, and I use it not every single day, maybe 3-4 mornings a week. I do some meditation, and it really helps clear the mind of clutter. You do feel more positive. I do it first thing in the morning when I get up, and it just really starts my day fresh, and like I feel empowered to really have an impact. And that's more than anything, that's really the base that's what I base my product around, is creating value in people's lives, so they understand that, hey, it's not, I could give you all the supplements in the world. If you don't do everything else, this is worthless. You have to understand that this is a stepping stool to really rejuvenating the body, rejuvenating the mind, and getting you to that state of anti-inflammation to help your body feel better. And honestly, you really do feel younger afterwards as well.
No, I totally like that you said that you do meditations as well, because I do as well. I do it with a group now, so it's amazing. Every day they meet, even though with my travels and stuff like that. Just recently, I can't catch it so often because it's on your coast. Actually, I can give you the information on that. So for me, it's noon. I was like, some things don't actually correlate for me, but it's amazing to meet with a group that meditate every day. But yeah, totally love meditations. What type of meditation do you do? I'm curious now. So Headspace, what type is it? Is it more of just the music? Does it go into those, what are they called, beats?
No,
the different
it's just
sounds.
the gentleman. No, I know they have those
binary
Peloton
beats, I guess, something like that. Yeah.
It's based on music and like helping the body relax. But mine is literally Headspace uses an app where it's just a gentleman who's talking to you, and he talks about how you're sitting down. He helps you be aware of everything from your head to your toes.
Yeah, I like those. Guided. It's a guided
meditation. Oh my gosh, I don't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
He lets your mind float off, and if you're floating, not paying attention, he's like, "Come back."
Like you're not supposed to go there.
Yeah, 3 minutes in, I'm like, "Oh, when's my first patient?"
Yeah, that's what happens, doesn't it? It's like you start thinking of something totally different. Yeah, but it does take work, and I like that you said you do it about 3 times a week. And same with the supplements. It takes time to work. It's not going to be overnight. I mean, it took you like 20, 30 years to form the habits you have. It's going to take quite a while to reform those neurons in your brain to reprogram it.
Yeah, there was this literature that supports it takes 21 days. There's new literature that tries to debunk it, but they say that you have to do the same habit every single day for 21 days for your neurons in your mind to understand that, hey, this is normal. I want to do this.
Yeah, 21 days. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I haven't done too much research on the timeline. I just know I always used to say that, for me, it was always, if I can get past the 2-week mark, then I know I'm good. If I have to like write it down or put timers on or whatever it takes, like put little Post-it notes all over the house.
One thing I've been starting to do is I tell patients, bring this with you when you get it. When I see them, my local LA patients at least, I tell them, bring the bottle with you. I want to see how much is in here. And if it's been a month, I'll literally grab it and I go like this. And if it doesn't make noise, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
1 month supply.
You know, they might be pouring it up.
Yeah, I would hope not.
Yeah, I hope not.
I would
Like
hope
put it
not.
off to the side and be like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
doctor, I've been taking
Yeah.
it. It's like, no.
I even wrote a PDF on, so the website is
Yeah.
nervousist.com. There's a free PDF.
Nervousness. Okay.
They go on there, they can read it. It talks about sleep, you know, how to clear your schedule, how to clear your
Okay.
mind, talks
I'm
about
gonna write that down.
meditation.
So it's just neurocyst.
Nervousist.
Oh, nervous cyst. Oh, okay. .com.
Nervousist.com.
You got a good to go domain there.
Thank you.
It's a great domain. Yeah, it's easy to remember. So
Very
yeah,
easy.
keep that one. Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
Yeah. Not going anywhere.
That one. Yeah, don't go anywhere. So yeah, cool. So you help patients in your area, but you said you were looking at doing some more global things as well. Are you looking to connect with other doctors? Because I do have other doctors that's actually been on the show.
Sure, I would love to. My goal is to help everyone locally, but really in America at this time. We're creating a team where we can, you know, have some advocates for us in South America first, and then Europe. And really, my core values is to be able to help as many people as I can, touch as many lives as possible. And for me, I'm offering any subscriptions with Nervousist. It comes with a free consultation with me. So you go on there, we book an appointment. I want to sit down and get to know every single patient and understand what's going on and, you know, how to improve their lives on a daily basis. And so
that's in your area though, but for right now, are they doing it mostly like through Zoom, or how is that handled?
It literally, when you book, when you pay for the product, it literally, the next link is Acuity, which is a scheduling software, and they pick a date and time that works well for them, and I sign into Zoom, we send them a link, and kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, what we're doing here. Okay. So really easy. So people that you know, get into the website can get this information through there and sign up and meet with you.
It's all, I mean, the majority, I mean, literally all the info that we're talking about today, from the ingredients to who it helps, to testimonial video, to the PDF, it's all on the website. And you know, the products itself, I mean, they're fairly expensive. I spent a lot of time and invested a lot of my time and money creating a formula that works. And so
usually, the ones that do because the ingredients are expensive. I mean, I do fine artwork too, and when I sell those, you know, I tell people the price, and you know, some people are a little bit shocked. It's because those are real pigments. Those are made out of real like stones and rocks. They are what like your diamonds and stuff are. You know, those gemstones are made of. That's the same stuff.
What I got fed up with the fact that like I had patients taking like alpha lipoic acid, which is one of the antioxidants in here, and glutathione, and each one is about $25 on Amazon. And so, and that's 2, and then there's 5 more ingredients in here. And so nothing ticks me off more than like when they come in with like their bottles of like 7, you know, different types of vitamins. They're like, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. Like, why don't you just, you know, put it all into one bottle? You're done, you know? And so I think that was the last straw for me. It was like maybe April or so. We're going like right in the midst of COVID. And I was like, you know what? A lot of like really successful companies and ideas were born during the Great Recession, you know? And I was like, well, how is this different? So I took all that time off, and I really sat down and I was like, you know, let me just take from all of my experience with my patients. And I must have treated probably at least 10,000 patients with neuropathy. By now, about 10,000. I'm in my 6th year.
How have you been practicing?
So this is the beginning of my 6th year.
6th year? Yeah.
So we've seen a lot. So
are these ingredients things that you kind of like refer to for, you know, with your customers over the years? Like, hey, you know, I think you should be adding this. And then with your testing and stuff, you get to see the results firsthand. So
of course.
What works better. And
we led a resident-led clinic. So basically, when you're working in a hospital, you just graduated medical school. For 3 years, we worked at a clinic where we had a director, but there was 3 residents that we basically ran a clinic for non-insured and insured patients. And we would see, I'm not kidding, some days 45, 50 patients that day between myself, another resident, and 1 medical student. And so the amount of exposure we had with neuropathy, and usually, you know, clinics that are, you know, for like non-insured patients, they're not really that healthy. A lot of obesity, a lot of diabetics that like, they don't take any medication. And so we were exposed to that up front. And so I've been trialing, you know, these vitamins for a long time. And
Wow.
They
Wow.
can't
That's really
afford.
exciting.
Another thing to, if for your listeners, and really for you to understand, is like all these patients that are suffering from these these pain syndromes, they're on narcotic pain medications like oxycodone, Norco, sometimes
Codons
morphine.
on a lot of stuff.
It makes you so sleepy. They take, my mom used to take a medication called gabapentin or Lyrica.
Yeah.
Two different types of pain medications for nerve disease. Oh my God, she'd be super sleepy and tired.
So that makes it worse because they're not moving, right?
They don't want to do
So
anything. It's just this vicious cycle from one thing that leads to the other. And so while I will never advertise it like this will replace it completely, but my goal is to make you understand that you don't have to be dependent on these pain medications. You will get better. You just have to be patient and continue on that path to getting better, from your diet to meditation. There's a lot of factors here.
I totally agree with that. This is just a stepping stone, like one of the many stepping stones you're going to have to take if you really want to improve your health and get past that point. But something like this will actually give you that relief that you're not living with it, that, you're disabled in a way from getting to the next step. And I remember, in my weight loss journey, losing, a lot of weight, many times, it was just taking that first initial step. Like, I remember just trying to do a mile and I couldn't even do a mile. Like, it was just so hard just to do a mile. And then like all my aches and everything hurts like for like 3 days. And I was like, you know what? Day 3, I promised myself I'd be out there and do another mile. So you just got to push yourself through that pain. And then eventually you're doing 3 miles, and eventually, you push yourself to, 5 or whatever you're
now look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
It's taking time, definitely. And but it's the willingness to take the next step. And, with products, that's a supplement, definitely. That's going to improve your
quality of life.
Yeah, your quality of life and your nerves, which is very important, because your nerves is the basis to everything, right? I mean, if you don't have good nerves, then you won't be able to function that well, because you're, like you said, you're always living in pain. And
we see a lot of car accidents here too, to be honest with you. A lot of our patients, they're motorcycle accidents, car accidents, foot run over by a car, forklift run over a foot. Like, you wouldn't believe what I see. And I just had a patient today, 80% relief after 6 weeks on nerve assist. 80%. And it's, when you have to understand, when you're in traumatic accidents, that contusion, that, your foot slamming on the brake or a car hitting you from the side, that causes inflammation. And so I tell them, I know it's, you don't have, sciatica, you didn't pinch a nerve. There's just a lot of inflammation going on in your body. Try this for a month and see how you do. And sure enough, they respond well. They bounce back, and so
it's a lot better than going through surgery. I would be totally on it. I feel like, what can we do other than surgery? So
and really, and I'm sure you guys have heard about this in Virginia right now. There's a narcotic. They're really slamming doctors that are prescribing narcotics, because there's a lot of people that are abusing narcotic pain medications.
They've had that for a couple years now, where now they were giving like patients like what was that one that you said, oxycodone? They used to give you like a whole bottle. Now they only give you like a couple of pills, and then you have to keep coming back to get a couple
20,
pills.
25,
whatever, whatever they recommend. Even pregnant people get it. I remember getting oxycodone all the time when I had C-sections, so I would get bottles of it. But even me, like, just the slightest point of like, I feel like I can handle the pain, I knew how addictive it was, because I'd known people that said, their friends, relatives, or whatever can't get off of it, basically. And I'm just like, I don't want to end up like that. So literally, when I felt like I could handle the pain, I literally threw the rest away. Like, that's how, that's how you had to take control of your body. There has to be a point that you're like, I don't want to go down this path any longer. And I know the side effects of this if I go this path, because it's not in the now. It's never in the now. You're building it, your body and your mental health for the future. And then in the future, you're going to start seeing these pay off. And it's the same with business and every other area of your life, relationships, connections like that.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's it's the little steps that you take today that's going to determine where you're at in the future.
Yeah,
so,
great.
Definitely.
I love that. That's why I love being on this podcast. I mean, your message is excellent, and I hope all the viewers from now and 5 years from now, they're looking back and watching these videos, they really benefit out of it. I think it's great
Oh
for you.
yeah. I hope that it reaches like all the people that need to hear it. And I know it will. And I know it
Well,
will.
yeah,
Because there's so many people out there that's suffering that doesn't want to speak out
yeah.
and
Oh, absolutely.
just don't know what to ask for. Even
Yeah,
if they were to speak out, they don't know who to ask. They don't know anybody else that's been in the position, what's available. And that's
yeah,
where I was at in a time in my life too, where I just didn't know enough people. I didn't realize the struggles that other people went through, because a lot of people have a hard time talking about their struggles and what they've been through. And I'm really grateful for everybody that's been on the Message of Hope series, because they have been really open about, depression,
problem.
suicide, jail time, all serious struggles, as well as, have been on the show that do things like what you're doing, how you can improve people's lives, just dealing with, the people that come into your clinic, every day, and how you're helping
Yeah,
people with those issues.
yeah,
So definitely, I'm just glad to have the platform and the knowledge to, keep it up and running for everybody that wants to come on. So
yay,
and I'm going to
yay.
throw it out there. If anybody has a story to share, go ahead and reach out to me. I'm on all social media, Amena K. Thornton, or Amena K. You can find me as well. And just send me a quick message. Me or my assistant will get it, and we'll see what we can do to get you on the show. Yeah, I never made that public, but, just so people know that, it's available. So I don't really screen my people too much, but if there is a person out there that really wants to talk, I want to have the availability for them to come on the
Yeah,
show. So yeah, thank you for your encouragement and everything.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah. So, you said you want to make this more globally through other
Yes,
clinics and other doctors and everything
yeah.
else. Is there anything else in the health and wellness space that you were looking into improving? Like, um, say, like another supplement, or adding this on to something else in the future?
Yeah.
Where do
Well,
you see this going?
so it's funny you say that. I'm literally working on the next phase of nervous cyst, which is going to be a freeze gel,
Yeah, does it have a
and
name?
it's nervous cyst freeze gel. Just
Oh,
nervous
nervous.
cyst is the brand, and then
Yeah.
it's a freeze gel. So it does
I
feel
see
cool
that.
when it goes on, but
I see this working for athletes. That.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So think, post workout soreness, when
Mhm.
you're doing, heavy leg day, you're sore for a couple of days, it'll help shorten that amount of time, to help get that lactic acid down and give you some relief. So,
Yeah, definitely. Now
yeah,
that you mentioned lactic acid, I'm not really familiar with it, but I do know a lot of people that suffer from that, especially people that are more on the pro level,
yeah.
on the athletic status. Do you see a lot of people that have the diabetes with the nerve damage have a lot of buildup of that type of acid in their body?
Not lactic acid, but there are inflammatory markers that will light up like a Christmas tree if you do have neuropathy. So chronic inflammation in the nerves. Lactic acid is more of it is metabolic. It does show up in some diabetics, but that's really for people who are if you're very sick and your body's starting to break down, meaning like your kidney failure, organ failure, your lactic acid is going to be through the roof.
Really?
But
Why
yes,
do
there
athletes have that
are.
then? I wonder. Why is it triggered
Well,
for that?
so whenever you release lactic acid from strenuous activity, that can cause a buildup of lactic acid, and your body has to filter it. And if your body is slow at filtering it, that lactic acid builds up, and you it's not very common, but you can develop lactic acidosis. And so, professional sprinters come to mind, people who do a ton of running.
Yeah, I know some.
Um,
I know some. I know some that actually went through surgery because for blood clots. You know.
we've had
Yeah.
compartment syndrome from lactic acid buildup. Like people who do like heavy squats, a power lifter, they have to make a huge cut on their thigh to release. I didn't do it, but to release the excess pressure in that compartment. So
Wow.
this does help. I mean, there, now with professional athletes in sports medicine, there's those compression sleeves that are tremendous at promoting extra circulation to pump through the body and get it out of their legs. I know a lot of chiropractors, the chiro guy out here in LA, his business is based around, getting these athletes up and out. Excellent method. There's also cryotherapy, which is really painful, but amazing.
Is that with the freezing?
Yeah, you basically stand, you go into an area, you close, it looks almost like a shower, and it's like this cool mist. It's only about 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
You do it really. I mean, I've tried it once.
I've never tried it, but I know there's that place that opens.
It works.
Really?
It really works. It really works. Yeah.
Is this like a cold shower just on steroids?
Yeah.
Basically,
It literally just feels like that. Yeah. Tony Robbins is someone that's really motivated me and almost like a hero figure where I really look up to him. And he talks about going on these morning plunges. He developed like this plunge pool in his backyard. He literally just dives in, goes to the very bottom, comes all the way out to the top, and it helps him focus. It cools his body's body temperature, so his body's going through this regenerative phase. And there is some truth to it, but I just haven't.
You haven't dug into too much of that just yet.
Yes, yeah, baby steps.
Yeah.
It's true. It does work.
That's interesting, though. But yeah, I see the gel going where you can't really take the supplement so much. But I mean, the supplements you can do side by side. I mean, you can do the supplement and But
people use diclofenac all the time. Diclofenac gel, Tiger Balm. They use it all the time at night. I mean, I used to do house calls for a living when I first moved to Los Angeles, and you wouldn't believe, these patients were between 65 and 95, and almost 70% of the homes I went to, they had diclofenac gel, Voltaren gel, Tiger Balm, and they'd have the nurses put it on either on their back or on their legs or on their feet, like every single night so they could go to sleep.
Yeah.
And really, these poor people.
But you know what's in this stuff too. I mean,
that's right. Mine is organic, but mine it's all natural organic products.
Now, is it made in LA? Do you make it now? That's cool. So it's all US made too.
Man, keep it American.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I'm glad that you.
Oh, and we were getting cut off. Our third line is to create some effervescent tablets. So you got your cold water here. You drop the tablet and it diffuses. So it'll have the same product profile as Nervous's capsules, but sometimes patients don't want to take capsules. They'd rather take a drink. It'll have different flavors. So you get the same benefit, but you're drinking it in the form of a drink.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I like my product with Fruit because you drink it. In fact, I mix it with smoothies all the time.
That's amazing.
I mean, because there's so many different flavors, I think, I don't even know how many, like 40 different flavors I think I've had since I've started. Let me ask you something.
Not to cut you off. What's your, so I found that a lot of successful people, they have a very, very, very disciplined approach with their morning routine. What's your morning routine?
So basically, my constant one, sometimes I change it a little bit or, change it up a little. I hate getting stuck in the what would it be, monotony of things. So I do change it every now and then. But my normal thing is I get up now at 5. I've been doing that for at least 8 months now. It was a dedication shift because I was working a lot of late nights and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I get up at 5, I go to bed at 10, like clockwork. And now it's just a natural cycle. It's that time thing we were talking about, right? Yeah. So, now I get up at 5. I usually just lay there. That's how I think about things that I want to get done for the day. It's basically like my goal setting. Even though the night before I do try to write down, I don't do it all the time. I write down, my next day plan, which is usually only 2 things. I concentrate on 2 things, 2 major goals for the day. So basically I just sit there and think for about an hour so just think, just think about things that are bothering me. Things that I want to get accomplished, things that, that I want to get accomplished in the week. And then So that's basically my meditation or self-reflection, I like to call it. I do self-reflection. I do go like look over my notes, my journal stuff, you know, anything that I'm working on. I don't usually exercise in the morning. I save that for a little bit later in the day. I know a lot of people that exercise in the morning, but my schedule is really flexible, so I don't have to do it in the beginning of the day. But I do exercise. Usually my exercise is being in nature, walking on a trail, listening to audiobooks. Um, Most of my routine stuff is actually more in the evening. I listen to self-development books throughout the night. My alarm clock's actually a motivation music by Fearless Motivation. I choose one every few nights. That's a different Fearless Motivation track, and I listen to that as my alarm clock.
I like that a lot.
Things like that. And then I usually have my protein shake in the morning. That's pretty much my daily. So my daily, I always self-meditation for at least an hour. Sometimes I do it 2 hours, depending, you know, if I had to get anything done too early. But usually I don't start anything like officially until around 8. So I've got a good 3 hours to do whatever I
That's the
want.
hardest thing I've found is that, you know, the people, they lack that motivation. Like, why? What and why should I do that? And I think the common denominator is they don't. Personally, this is my opinion. They don't know their why. Why are you here? What's your purpose today?
And that's why it's so important to self-reflect. And that's why I spend so much time doing it. And usually during the day, like in the evening, I'll do it too. Like I probably meditate about 3 times a day. And the way like I said, I meditate. If it's not with a group, like I told you about earlier, I just do self-reflection. I go for a walk in the woods. I just think about what's bothering me. I think about, you know, things that are holding me, that I feel are holding me back, and why are they? I ask a lot of my like questions of myself. So basically, like, why am I feeling? And then sometimes I have my journal, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I take notes on my phone. I do recommend everybody put it in a journal though, because then you can see your process, you know, you can see your growth, and that's an encouragement. So, you know, you want to push harder and farther, you know, once you start seeing that progress. So I teach a lot of that.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So what's your morning routine look like usually?
It mirrors, it's very similar to yours. I get up at 5:15 and I do a class on Peloton in the morning at 5:30 to about 6:15.
Yeah.
You know, I told you three mornings a week I'll do like just a 10-minute meditation on Headspace app. And then like do my shower, and it's 7 a.m. And then either if my daughter gets up, I'll, you know, get up with her and, you know, change your diaper, do all that kind of stuff. And then
you have a little one. See, mine are older.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
We homeschool,
Yeah,
so it's just like, all right, you know, time to do so. But that's, like I said, that's like 8, 9 o'clock. We don't do that like first thing in the morning. You know?
Yeah, I'm out of the door by 7:15.
Yeah.
I'm out. I take my vitamins. I intermittent fast.
I do that
can
too.
also help. It helps with
once a month
inflammation control. And so I just grab some coffee, black coffee, and just head to work. You know, ready to go. But I'm not like at work like this. I'm at work like I know what I need to get done. Yeah, kind of like you said, you have plenty of time to reflect and really get at it. And there's nothing better, and I'm sure your viewers will appreciate this. There's nothing better than leaving it out on the line and getting home from work, even if you don't work, giving yourself an objective for that day and knowing that you did everything you could do, possible to do, to get those tasks done. You're able to sleep so much better because you feel like you're an effective human being for that day. And I think that's one easy biohacking way to really, you know, implement into your life to really squeeze the juice out of your day.
Yeah, and don't try to do more than 2, because I've tried to push it to like 4 or 5. And no, it's always, if I can concentrate on just 2 major tasks, then you feel good and you don't feel overwhelmed. Like you don't feel like, oh my God, I gotta, you know, do this other thing too. So especially if it's something,
great job.
Especially if it's something new, like you haven't developed a habit yet to, you know, make it like you don't want to think about it anymore. So definitely, it's been really nice talking to you, Ben.
You too. Yeah, I'm so happy you had me on. Yeah, anytime. I'd love to link up with you anytime.
Yeah, we can talk another day about
Sure.
other supplements and stuff. Totally.
When I launch it, I'll let you know. I'll bring
Yeah,
it on the show.
yeah,
I'll show you what it looks like, and I'm really excited for it. I think you'll dig
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, I'll put the links up when you have them. I'll put the links nervousist.com
Yeah.
in the description. So if you guys that are listening on the podcast, you'll see that in the description on this episode. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can find it in the description as well. For some reason, I know that some of the broadcast stations don't have a description. You can always go to the YouTube channel by going to amena.media. Super simple. Just type it in your browser. It'll go directly to the web version of the videos, and you'll see a channel called Message of Hope. This is actually a part of series 2. We're on series 2 now. Message of Hope. This is 38. So we're on episode 38 today.
Amazing.
So is there anything
Thanks
else?
so much for your time.
Oh,
That's
thank
really
you.
I mean, we went over quite a bit. Like I said,
But do you want to
just
leave
consistent.
anybody with, a message that speaks from your heart, or a quote, or something that, that really inspires you right now?
If you're at home and you feel down, you feel depressed, and you feel like there's no hope for you, just reach inside yourself, believe in yourself, understand that there is a message for everyone, there is a purpose for everyone in this world, and stay committed to improving yourself on a daily basis. And I promise you, you will get to where you need to go.
Good message. Very good message. Yeah. And you're never alone. There's always people out there that is willing to help. If it's not friends, if it's not family, if it's not your community or whatever you're involved in currently, just know there's other people out there. There's a lot of people out there that have been where you're at and want to see you improve and get better, and definitely, find your purpose in life. So definitely, make sure that you follow Message of Hope. These stories from struggle to success, and reach out to any of the guests that's been on the show. They're all here to help in any way they can. So if you want to get in contact with Ben here today and find out more about this nervousist and work with him, you can definitely do that. Just reach out to him. Can they contact you directly through your website?
Yeah, we have an email. Yeah, we have an email if they have any questions, support@drbenji.com. And they can call my office as well. The phone number's on there, and we have a team dedicated to nervousness. So we're ready. If you need help, questions, concerns.
Awesome. Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Benji. So
Dr. Benji.
I like that. See, it says Ben for me, so that's on the screen. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did say that. I do like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. And
Sure.
What's your practice name? I don't think we covered that. Where are you at in LA?
It's in downtown Los Angeles. It's called Kings Point Foot and Ankle.
Okay, Kings Point Foot and Ankle. So, foot and ankle. So if you are in the LA area, you know where his practice is. So definitely go check him out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this viewing and podcast, Message of Hope. And Ben's giving us some big waves for all the listeners out there, and this gratitude sign. I'm so grateful. Thank you again, Ben, and we'll chat soon. Take care.
You got it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.